Hello everyone, Malphite here, and today I've decided to do a LFL teams tier list. So almost all of these teams are completed. You can see, I think, here in the these rosters of the LFL. Only 2 players from BDS Academy are missing, but these are the rosters. I'll also talk about them throughout the video, but I'm going to make a tier list of these teams for the LFL. I'm going to rate them based on how I think they can perform throughout the year with the rosters. So let's just, let's not talk about it even more and let's just jump into it. So, okay, I'm going to start with BDSA. BDSA has been a S tier team last year. They had Genax, they had Skewmont, who's now in G2, right? They had Reeker, who's also with Genax in SK, Kedui, who's pretty good AD carry, and Parus. So 4 players went to the LEC. This team was doing really well. They did really well at the EMEA Masters, really well in the LFL. But so far, if you look at the roster, they have 3 players, Tofe, Pivek, and Myrtus, and they're gonna get 2 more in top and jungle. But all these players so far are complete rookies. And for that reason, I am going to put BDS at D tier. These players are very new to the league. Pivek is coming from, I think, 2nd division LFL. Myrtus is not a complete rookie, but also not a very great support compared to, let's say, the other ones in the league. And Tofe is also a rookie coming from I forgot which league, but even a minor league than the LFL. Let's continue with BK ROG. ROG. I don't know how to say this. So they have Shigenda, they have Rilech, Omon, Kedui, and DOS. So, let me think about this. So I think Shigenda is actually a solid top laner. He was kind of balancing between LEC and not LEC. I think he's kind of like a Genax level, maybe a little bit worse. Better carry, but less stable. Rilek is a very solid jungle. Omon is a hyped rookie coming into LFL. And, Kedui did really well compared with DOS also playing in the LEC. I think this roster combined has a solid chance to be in the A tier. But I don't think they're exactly in the S tier. Let's go with GameWard. So in GameWard we have Zest, Stormax, Backlund, Matthias, and Honor. We can even check it here. Zest, Stormax, Backlund, Matthias, and Honor. So, Zest, for me the player is kind of solid. Pretty good top laner. I mean, I don't really know how to feel. I think the support is good. I think the top lane is good. But the rest, I don't think Matthias is that great of an AD carry. Backlund is been a bit underwhelming recently. Same with Stormax. They're not bad players by any means. It's just that the team doesn't really excite me a lot. It's not very exciting. So for a reason, I don't think they're gonna be as bad as BDSA, but I'm gonna put them in C tier for now. Next we have Ici Japon Corp. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Maybe it's IC or ICI, or I'm not sure. Japon Corp. They got promoted from the 2nd division in the LFL. Also has some cool players coming over, and they already built a really crazy roster. So they have Howling in the top lane, one of the best top laners previously on BK ROG. With Howling, also Hansam D is coming. They got Certus, which was arguably the best mid laner in the LVP in Los Heretics. They have Theocax, who is, I think, he's a hyped rookie. He's very young. promoted from NLC, I think. I'm not sure 100%, but he's very young and hyped, and then Prime, obviously, a very, very strong support. So if the jungle goes well, I think Ici Japon Corp is actually an S tier team. I think this is one of the teams that will have a shot at winning LFL and potentially doing really, really well at EMEA Masters, if not winning it all, right? So far, this is how it is. Joblife. Joblife to me is very similar. Actually, no, I'll show you the roster. So Joblife has Lenny, Rames, or Rames, I'm not really sure, Diplex, Deadly, and Twist. For me, Diplex is one of the best mid laners in the region, but the rest of the players is not very good. Some of them are rookies. Deadly is coming from the Ici Japon Corp. He's pretty hyped, right? Twist is a pretty solid support, but overall, I think Diplex is a bit elo held on this team, and I think unless the team steps up, it's gonna be really tough for Diplex to actually do anything on this team. And for that reason, I'm going to put them actually in C tier. I'm not really sure if I prefer GameWard or if I prefer Joblife, but yeah, they're basically in the same tier. I don't think they're as bad as BDSA, because I think Diplex just by itself being in the team is really strong. But yeah, it's just not really exciting team. Next up, we have KC Blue. So obviously the most hyped team of the LFL, the team with the biggest fan base and so on. So let's look at the roster. So we have Mainter staying in the team. We have Bukada, Slow Q, Exakick, and Piero. So Piero, Slow Q, there are Korean imports, both pretty strong. I kinda, when I was doing like my ratings of the players, I've said Piero is maybe the best support in the league. Slow Q is like a solid mid laner, not the strongest, but also not bad by any means. Mainter is very, very strong top lane in the LFL, and Exakick is a really good AD carry. And Bukada is solid. You know, I think he's solid. So given this roster, I think there's a lot of excitement. I think the bot lane is very, very exciting. I think the mid lane is like interesting because I want to see what Slow Q will do. But Mainter is really, really exciting for me that he's staying. So just the combo of these players, I think, deserves an S tier. I think Ici Japon Corp and KC Blue are so far the two teams that will fight for the top spot in the LFL. Let's look at Gentlemates now. So Gentlemates, they've got Empiros, Zichi, Eika, Comp, and Erdote. So Eika is a pretty well-known name in the league by now. He's been, like performing pretty solid over the years, but always a bit underwhelming, I would say. Like he's known as a very, very good prospect. He was supposed to come to the LEC, I think 2 years ago or something. He had some offers or at least interest from the teams, but since that he was not performing the best on the teams that he's been at. Other than that, we have Comp coming from the LEC. He was not performing well his last year, but overall a very, very strong AD carry. And then we have Empiros in the top lane, again a hyped rookie coming into the league from the NLC as well. I think he was playing with Theocax. I'm not really sure if they were the ones playing together, but basically a Greek player. We have Greek player in Comp, and then Erdote is a very strong support. So this team is not quite the S tier material, but also I wouldn't say they're necessarily a B tier, so I'm gonna also put them into A tier. I think they can. They're basically in the same power level as BK Rog, and they can, step it up and show what's in their power. Next up, we have Solary. So Solary, also a pretty big organization with a solid fan base in the LFL. Unfortunately, they have not been performing very well recently, but they are still a solid stone of the LFL. So Kreis is staying in the top lane. Then we have Markoon replacing Etskas. We have DK, Takeset, and Mursa replacing Murtus. So I think Mursa is an upgrade over Murtus. I think Markoon is an upgrade over Etskas, although not like a huge one. But I think this team only upgraded. But you know, DK, Takeset, Kreis, like those are very similar players in the fact that I think they're all better than they seem. I think they're all underrated players, and I think they can perform a lot better. But still, I'm not too excited about the team. But you know, I'm excited about Mursa. I'm excited about Markoon, former players from the LEC. For those who remember, Kreis is also a former LEC player. Back in the day, he was a mainstay in the LEC, mostly XL if I remember correctly, but I'm not exactly sure. For that reason, I think the empty B spot is what Solary deserves, because looking at the roster, I would say it's better than GameWard or Joblife, but it's not quite there with BK Rock or Gentlemates. So I think the B tier is a perfect place to give to Solary right now. Two more teams. We have Team Go and Vitality.Bee. So let's look at Team Go. So Team Go. Ragnar, Xerxes, Serin, Jezu, and Zoelis. So Ragnar, one of the best top laners. He did not perform very well in summer, but in spring he was destroying the league. Now we see him in Team Go. Xerxes was in LVP in Los Heretics, also very, very strong jungler. I think he's on that verge of LEC material. He could be playing in the LEC. He probably wouldn't be best in the league. But you know, he was in LEC actually pretty recently, and he still has that edge of not quite be the best, but you know, also, you know, a bit bad for LEC, but too good for the LFL or like the minor region, the ERLs. And so I think Xerxes may be the best jungler in the league right now, at least from those that we have confirmed. Serin, I rated him. I think I gave him like a C tier when I was doing my tier list of the mid laners, and I got like at least 3 or 4 comments specifically about me rating Serin very low. So I updated my ratings of this player, and I think he's actually very, very strong, and he can do really well. And then we have Jezu and Zoelis, both former LEC players, also Xerxes, right? So a lot of experience on the team. I think Jezu is very, very solid AD carry still, and I think Zoelis, although he did not perform well in Rogue when he was in the LEC, I think he can still step it up, and he can show us what he can do, right? Because before that in the LFL he had a really good season before he came into the LEC, so maybe he can repeat that success that he had. And for that reason, I'm going to put Team Go into the A tier. This is not like the teams on the left are not better than the teams on the right. I'm just putting them in the same tier, so this is not really ranked. If you want me to do like a ranking of what I think exactly, like 1 through 10, I can also do video, like a quick video like that. But for now, also A tier for Team Go. Not quite the S tier, but a really, really solid team. Definitely could see them being 4th place, maybe 3rd place. And you know, teams in the A tier, if they do really, really well, I wouldn't be surprised. But also, it's the teams I do not expect to be kind of below the bottom half. You know, I expect these teams to be third, or like 6th, basically within that range in the league. And finally, we have Vitality.Bee. So let's look at the team. Let's look at the roster. So we have Vertigo, Lurox, Vitio, Yopa, and Fleshy. So first of all, I want to say Vitio is coming from the LEC. I think he's really mechanically gifted, and he might be just mechanically the best mid laner in the league. The question is whether he can work on his attitude and whether he will mesh well together with his team. But still, you know, just purely mechanically skill, sometimes it is enough, especially in like an ERL or like a bit weaker league than the LEC. Then we have Yopa, who I think is a really underrated AD carry. Definitely in a good team can show so much. We have Vertigo, a really, really good top laner. Lurox also a solid jungle. But I think the bot side of this team is a lot more interesting. So Yopa Fleshy coming from KC, a pretty good support player. I think the second best after Piero in the league. But overall, I think this team is also actually S tier just because of their bot lane and VTO. But are they gonna be the first? I'm not really sure. But it's definitely between these three teams. And then next up we have these three teams, and I think Solary, GameWard, Joblife, BDSA are kind of the bottom pack. But I think these 6 teams are definitely showing the top of the league, and these are the teams that you can put your hopes into. But I wouldn't be surprised if Solary actually does well this year. As for the other teams like GameWard, Joblife, BDSA, I'm not too hyped, but maybe we are going to find at least like a one good rookie in each of these teams, and that's enough. That's enough for a league. So that's about it. Make sure you subscribe, but most importantly, like, and let me know in the comments what do you think about this tier list. Also, let me know if there are other videos you would like to see. Make sure to stay rock solid, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.